So the ingredients that you'll be mixing in addition to the onion are 3/4 of a cup of white vinegar, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 can of condensed Campbell's tomato soup, 1/2 a cup of canola oil, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and 1/4 teaspoon of dill weed, which can be found in the condiment/seasoning aisle. So when you're making something, a good idea is to always read ahead. Make sure that you read the entire recipe before you do anything. It looks like I messed up a little bit. Saw that saucepan was getting a little crowded and everything just barely fit. I actually wasn't supposed to put the onion in. I was just supposed to put in all the other ingredients except for the carrot and onion and bring that to a boil and then pour it over the carrots and the onions. So we're going to deviate a little bit here, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to try and extract those ingredients. Okay, you know what, just looking at it right now, I'm not going to be able to do that. Everything's just mixed in. So I'm actually going to bring this to a boil with the onion in it and then just pour it over the carrots. And we'll see how that goes. I wish I don't have a large variety of sizes in my saucepan, so I'm actually just going to leave it all in this small one so I can pour it into the bigger one later. So we're going to just carefully bring this to a boil because we don't have a lot of room to work with here in terms of how large the saucepan is, and we don't want it to boil over. Okay, so on a quite serious note to those of you who may try this on your own, it looks like at least one of the ingredients in this is flammable. I'm assuming it was the canola oil. So what I was doing, making it in a very small container with a high chance of overflow, not a good idea. Don't try it. Yeah, just don't do it. Also not a good idea, cooking alone. You don't swim alone. You shouldn't cook alone, especially if you're an amateur. I'm going to transfer back to the larger saucepan, and then when we do the combining step, we'll do it into a bowl. Okay, so after you've boiled those other ingredients, of course minus the onions, go ahead and I'm going to take all the carrots, put them in a bowl, and then your next step would be to put the sliced onion in with the carrots, but as you know, I cooked the onion actually, so oh well. And then take your remaining ingredients, and this is after you've allowed the stuff that you boiled to cool slightly. I'm just going to pour it over the carrots and onion. And I'm going to stir it up a bit. And then the next thing you want to do is go ahead and put this in the refrigerator for 3 days. Yes, that's right. It should sit for, it's best if it sits for about 3 days before you serve it. I thought marinated was like some sort of cooking, thing involving heat, but I guess marinated means, let it sit in something for a while. So you're just gonna let these carrots soak for 3 days. So not the best recipe if you have a craving for carrots and you want them right now. Try to time it so that you start preparing this about 3 days before you're craving the dish. Or if you just know you like it and you're always going to have cravings, you could just have a 3-day cycle and system of labels and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator for 3 days. Hi, I'm Michael Wizymerski. You may know me as The Wiz. While we're waiting for these carrots to marinate, I'd like to talk to you about kitchen safety. First safety tip, never try and catch a falling knife. Just back away and let it fall. I learned that from the knife video I just watched. Second of all, make sure that you always have handy a good old kitchen fire extinguisher. So you know that there are 3 classes of fires? Class A, B, and C. Class A would be your fires with materials such as wood and paper. Class B is your liquid-based fires. And Class C are those nasty electrical fires. Make sure that you only fight the type of fire that you have with the correct type of extinguisher so you don't get into even more trouble. Now, I've never actually discharged a fire extinguisher, and I thought, well, since I have the video camera out, y'all might want to see what that looks like. So we're just going to go ahead and pretend that the sink caught on fire here. Just keep in mind that if you ever do, for some reason, discharge your fire extinguisher, even if it's a test, that your common household fire extinguisher is not refillable. So if you ever pull a pin and discharge it at all, go out and buy a new fire extinguisher. For this particular one, it's a dry chemical fire extinguisher. Recommends removing contact lenses and before using, and also if you have respiratory problems, don't use it. I'm sure that's going to be at the top of your mind if there's a fire, but I have removed my contacts. So I've already pulled the pin, but that's the first thing if you're ever in a panic and you're squeezing and you know what's going on. There's should be a pin with a loop, just yank it out. That's the first thing you got to do. And then you stand, what, like 8 feet back from the base of the fire, and then sweep side to side at the base of the fire. Okay, this has been sitting in the refrigerator now for 3 days, so it should be good to go. Just gonna stir it up a little bit here, and let's see how it turned out. It's good.